Hey, how you doing? I'm Greg Lumley. I'm a wedding photographer. I've been doing this for many years. It's safe to say that I've shot probably over 600 weddings. So as you can imagine, I've seen quite a few things when it comes to the things I think brides get wrong. Here are my top 5 tips in no particular order as to what I think goes wrong on the day. So you've seen all these amazing little things. You've read all these magazines. You've got a file that's this big and you know it's going to be a perfect little fairy tale wedding. It's going to be amazing. But the list will never match up to your expectations. Really, it's a celebration to be with friends and family, and all of those list items, try and pull them together as best as you can. But if they don't work or they're not perfect, don't sweat it. Have they got this? Have they got that? Have they got the next thing? Which brings me to my next tip. Delegate. I see so many brides on the day and all they're doing is running around trying to get everything ready. There's a time to let go. Yeah, I know it's your perfect day. Of course it's your perfect day. You've been thinking about it for ages and you want it to go as well as possible. But there comes a time when you've just got to go, you know what? It's going to be what it's going to be. But in that, if something is wrong or something is missing, pick up the phone and assign somebody the task. Don't sweat the task yourself, or you will sit there stressing if you can't do it. And really, at the end of the day, there's only one thing that's really important. In fact, there's 3 things that are important. You need a bride, you need a groom, or a bride and a bride, or a groom and a groom, and a marriage officer or a celebrant or whatever you call it. You just need somebody. Those are the 3 things that you need to actually get married. Everything else on top of that is really bonus. So keep that in mind. My next tip links very strongly, and I've already mentioned it to a certain degree. Let go. There is only so much that you can do on the day. And if all you're worried about is trying to organize and arrange, then all you're going to be is stressed. Nobody around you is going to relax. You're not going to relax. And that's all you're going to remember on the day. It's just how stressed you were instead of the awesomeness that it actually should be. For me as a photographer, this is a big one. Oh, we've got loads of time. No, you don't, because before you know it, you will run out of time like that. And I see it all the time. Using the word time a lot here. I see brides looking at their watches, looking at the clock on the wall. Everybody's going, oh, and they're wandering around. Next minute, it seems to go like this. Everybody's calm, relaxed, kind of bored, just twiddling their thumbs, and then it starts doing this. And before long, it just does this like a skyrocket. And everybody is rushing like crazy to get into the car, to get the dress on. And we're going to get to that point on the dress in a second. To get the dress on, to get this on, to get that done. I see the bouquets being left all behind. Often. But there's another side of it as well. If you get ready beforehand, and if you're finished and you've got your time sorted out, and I'll explain how to do that now, then you also have great opportunity to work with your photographer and get some really good photographs. I cannot tell you, I'd say probably about 80 to maybe 90% of the weddings that I do, I'd like to spend a little bit of time with the bride. I mean, look at the time that she's spent. Look at the time you'll spend. And I can't work with them. So if I can, I like to spend, say, 20 minutes, 30 minutes with them, and that gives me an opportunity to get some great photos. So with that being said, here are a few ways that you can do that. Some makeup artists will work very efficiently and quickly. Others will start to sort of almost twiddle, which is cool because they love what they do and they're trying to get it perfect. But there's also a time when the job needs to be done. Another thing is get the makeup, the base makeup for the bride done earlier. That way it's done. That way if everybody's running late, at least the photographer can actually work with you while everybody else is still having touch-ups. So that works really well. But the bottom line is you do not have time. You do not have as much time as you think you do. I've seen it over and over again. This is a big one, and this links right back to time. Oh my boy. Oh my God. The bride's putting on her dress. It's a detailed dress. It's either got a lot of buttons. So if you've got buttons, you just use a crochet hook and it just nips those little loops over. It works really nicely. But I see all the time brides trying to get into a dress and it's not fitting properly, or they can't seem to get it to fit the way the lady at the store did. The lady at the store or the man at the store, or whoever's working at the store at the bridal shop, has done this 1,000 times. They know every trick in the book and you don't. So try on your dress before the day, even a few days, and do it preferably with 1 or 2 bridesmaids who are going to be your sort of key bridesmaids on the day. What that means is that if you run into any issues, you are going to be ready for the day. I've seen people have to sew dresses or sew little things, but probably one of the most common ones I see is when there's a big lace up at the back. That takes a long time, and they sort of people can't quite remember or know how to do that. And then another huge one is when there are straps that are coming loose and falling off, and they've got to tape up. And that also ends up taking a lot of time. And then of course there's the good old chicken fillets. Girls, you know what I'm talking about. Those also will end up going in, and suddenly they go, oh, they're not working, they aren't working, the whole dress has changed shape. So these are the things that by doing your dress fitting yourselves, very, very important, yourselves, unless you can get the bridal store staff over there, do it yourself at least a day before. It's not only about the time. I mean, as a photographer, I don't mind. As long as I'm not making you late, I'm chilled and I'll just go with the flow. I'm never going to start going, oh, it's late, I'm sort of stressing out. I'm never going to do that. But what it's going to do is it's going to stress you out. And the last thing you need to be doing is walking up the aisle, and there's that amazing man, woman, girl, person, I've got to be so careful these days, waiting for you, and all you can think about is the stress. What a pity. Right, so there you have it. Those are my top tips. I've done so many weddings, and I think those are the ones that come to mind, but I'm probably pretty certain you've got a few that you can think of as well, especially if you've been married. Share them with me and I'll do another video, because then those who are going to get married are also going to be able to actually share with them as well. If you're looking for an amazing photographer, then I'm your guy. If you're looking for a boring run-of-the-mill photographer, then I am out of here. Thanks for watching.